A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for keeping it to NBS television. It's the topical discussion as we get into discussion of the key events that are happening in the country. Well, away from the politics on Thursday, we normally talk what is happening with the economy. Of course, part of the political economy is those who are printing posters and how much money is flowing in and whatever it is. But that's not going to be our bread for this morning. We will be talking about the unemployment rate. Now, we clearly know that there have been arrests made with regard to ghost employees in government. Because when we get to look at the current statistics as released by the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, it did put unemployment rate in Uganda at about 2.9% nationally. But then when we zero down to youth unemployment, that went up to 4.4%. Like I said earlier, hundreds of thousands of graduates are churned out into the job market only to find no job, probably for the civil service being told there are no spaces or civil service does not have enough money to be able to take them in, because there was another study that was carried out where a particular percentage of civil service jobs that should be filled were not filled up. Why? Because government said they didn't have the money to be able to pay. But an audit in 2023 did put the number of ghost workers at about 10,000, and those annually were drawing 53 billion shillings. Further subsequent audits, even after the Ministry of Public Service said that they had done a head count and they were sorting out everything, they were digitalizing everything, we have still seen audit reports giving up to more than 5,000 ghost workers. Some are dead, some are non-existent, some are just not present, but they have been drawing more and more money. If you get to look at the crisis right there, 10,000 suspected ghost workers in 2023, as I did say, they were drawing 53 billion shillings each and every year. But what lies at the core of this scandal? Could it just be, would we take it as just a mere financial scandal, or there is more than meets the eye? And yesterday, of course, we also got a chance to listen to what the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Public Service said. That is Madam Catherine Bitarakwate, but we'll be getting to know what she said. Allow me introduce to you my panel today that will be breaking down this particular conversation. On my immediate left, I have Andrew Muhandichi, who is the Acting Secretary General of the Uganda Government and Allied Workers Union. Andrew, a very good morning to you and a pleasure having you on the Morning Breeze.
Thank you, Mildred. Thank you. Good morning to you and good morning to all our viewers.
A pleasure having you. And we also have Christine Birijiro, who is the project manager at Anti-Corruption Coalition Uganda. And of course, I don't know if we will tilt it into a corruption or not just tilt, but that is the reality. Christina, good morning to you.
Thank you very much, Mildred. I'm happy to be here. And good morning to all our viewers. Looking forward to a fruitful discussion. Definitely.
And as we get to start the discussion, as I said, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Public Service, Catherine Bitarakwate Msingwire, did respond to what exactly is happening. In case you missed it out, let's first of all look at this story.
Following a presidential directive to the Criminal Investigations Directorate, CID, to apprehend officials implicated in ghost worker schemes, 12 senior officials from 6 government agencies were arrested, with more still under pursuit. The implicated entities include the Uganda Police Force, Civil Aviation Authority, Makerere University Business School, Chambogo University, among others, accused of causing financial losses to the government. According to the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Public Service, Catherine Bitarakwate, the problem stems from flaws in the old payroll system, which contained design errors. She noted that an audit by the Auditor General uncovered numerous anomalies, leading to annual loss of billions of shillings to the government.
I think it was a system design errors that gave leeway to manipulation, and that was under the integrated payroll, personnel and payroll system.
Bitarakwate notes that under the old system, several individuals were listed as deployed to non-existent schools but continued to draw salaries from the government payroll.
These are some of the issues which the Criminal Investigation Department entered into. We realized that the malpractices were continuing. So we alerted Ministry of Finance And we recommended that the Auditor General does a general audit of the entire payroll.
She noted that the government has now adopted a human capital management system which is highly efficient for all agencies. The system features an inbuilt establishment control that makes it difficult to bypass, thereby preventing the recruitment of ghost workers, double employment and other related malpractices. Bitara Kwate assured that with the revamped system in place, the government will no longer incur financial losses caused by ghost employees.
Now it is very difficult to engage in that kind of malpractice because
system design, says the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Public Service. And if we looked at statistics, currently public service employs over about 366,000. That is exclusive of intelligence officers and the military. But if we looked at the quantity of graduates that are churned out of universities, that stands at about 700,000. Now, public service employing less than half or just slightly above half of those who are churned out annually. And not to say that the job market is an elastic one, that each and every year there are new jobs that are created. I would like to start off with you, Christine, on the ghost workers conversation is not a new one in Uganda. How big is it a problem? Because we thought after the digitalization of the pension system, digitalization of the government workers system, this was foregone case.
Yeah, thank you, Mildred. Well, this is a big problem. It is actually a very, very big problem, and goes as far as showing how deeply entrenched and how corruption generally has unfolded, you know, how it is evolving in Uganda. It is no longer the chicken thief and, you know, the single worker that you have to arrest and perhaps prosecute, but it goes in as far as showing that corruption in Uganda, because this is a typical case of corruption you had asked earlier, it goes in as far as showing the systematic and syndicated nature of corruption in Uganda. You have quite some big institutions, you know, Entebbe Referral, you have CAA, you have Uganda Police Force, you have these institutions, mobs, and you're not talking about these lower level cadres in these institutions. You're looking at highly placed senior officials. And so this is quite bigger problem. It is a bit hard to uproot. It has become hard for us to uproot. One, because you talked about the exercise by the Ministry of Public Service a while ago to root out these ghosts. And indeed, PAC did order or direct, and these were rooted out. They were deleted, but surprisingly, they say about 1,700 ghost workers deleted came back on the payroll. They are back on the payroll. So we are talking about impunity. We are talking about systematic nature of corruption. We are talking about the syndicate, and so it has become hard to root out. So it is quite a big problem, and of course it involves a lot of money. It involves huge sums of money. 53 billion per year is not, you know, your usual pocket change. Yeah, sure. And then again, how big of a problem is this? Is that it directly costs us our development. You know, the cost of this 53 billion into ghosts is costing us so much in our, you know, social service sectors. True. We are always complaining the budget is inadequate to address our key social service sectors. You're looking at education, for example. Way back in 2018, NPA reviewed the UPE policy or the program, and then they recommended that for it to actually give results, quality, you need to have at least 63,000 shillings for UPE capitation per pupil per year. But to date, we have, I think, about 20,000. Yeah. We are sending 20,000. So what do you expect of the quality of child that you're putting out there or churning out there if the money that they are supposed to